Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm super excited to be here with Megan, and she has such an inspiring story. But before she starts, light up this with comments because for every comment she gets $1 towards her favorite store. We're so
Oh, hey.
excited to help her. So give her a lot of money. She has worked and is working so hard. So Megan, tell us who you are, what you do, all the good stuff.
So my name is Megan. I'm just a mom. I used to work two jobs. I actually quit one, so I work a full-time corporate job. I sit at a desk all day, so there's that.
It's very exciting. Okay, so tell us where you were before you joined the midlife makeover program. Tell us how old you are. Tell us where your health was and how you were feeling physically, mentally, emotionally. Tell us all about that.
So I'm 40. I I don't think I realized at the time that like mentally I was not super great. It wasn't in my best mindset. One of those things where I was getting there and I thought, I was doing great with like my personal growth and stuff because I kind of hit a lull, like you do with everything. Um, I was kind of just like uncomfortable in my own skin, and in my life, and I was just running those same patterns of just I'll just push through it and I'll just keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result, which clearly doesn't work.
And so doing the same thing. So tell us, so you've been in the program now 12 weeks, around 3 months. What are your biggest wins since starting the program?
So a small thing, I have this jean jacket I bought forever ago, and the arms were always tight. I never thought I'd be a person who was like, oh, I don't like the way that my arms fit in clothes, but I became that person. And since then, I was so excited because it has a button like right about here, and I could finally actually button it without it being tight or restrictive or anything. So that was like, it's a small thing, but it's a big win for me because it was a marker of like I'm actually improving. Other than that, I it's so cliche, but I do have more energy. I'm much more positive in like my everyday, so my mental health has changed completely. And I think that's one of those things you don't realize until you're there that it's actually impactful. Um, so probably my biggest win is that I feel better. And then your clothes start to fit better here and there. And if you're friends with me on social media, you'll see where I post things that like I bought this shirt 5 years ago, or I've had this shirt my entire life, and if it's completely different now, it's amazing to me like the change that's happened in just such a short period of time.
And before you started this journey, um, I know you did have some fears, you did have some doubts, you were a little maybe skeptical. Could you share that? What were you kind of afraid of?
So my typical pattern is I'll start something and never finish it. Since earlier this year, I've been diagnosed with ADHD, which um I realize now is one of the many, many hurdles that I face. So being able to talk through those hurdles that come with that, one of them is the defiance that comes with it. I didn't realize I that was a tool that my brain had used. Um, and I'm framing it as a tool because I'm trying to put a positive spin on it. But like having to-do lists laid out with things that needed to be done was really helpful. And not having you guys like having these expectations. It's, if you fall off, it's okay. So I struggled a lot with that. And then the shame of, not doing something properly or just looking bad. Um, Especially with workouts. Like my biggest fear with working out is I'm going to look stupid. And that's such a silly thing to be worried about, but realistically that is my biggest fear with working out is I'm going to look stupid or I don't want to be that fat girl in the gym that everybody makes fun of. So I've been working out at home and it's been really successful. And I actually have my youngest kid working out with me when he's with me. So yeah.
I love that so much. And so you kind of talked about that. I remember on our first call, there was a lot of fear and disbelief in yourself.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to share because you are so confident now. You've taken a lot of photos. I'd love for you to share about your newfound confidence in yourself.
Yeah, so I've always kind of carried a weight of, confidence, but it's more of a mask of confidence and like a mask of like arrogance about myself. I'm really not like that. But now I actually feel confident in myself. So like I don't just put on clothes and I'm just like, oh, I look fine. Like I put on a dress today because I was like, this dress looks really nice on me and compliments my body as it is right now. So it is learning to appreciate my body as it stands, but also like because it has changed so much in such a short period of time, I've really been able to really appreciate that and walk out of my house actually feeling confident. I wore I know I showed you the picture. I wore a halter top with like no bra or anything for the first time. It's crop top in forever. And I only went to my partner's house, but it was like those baby steps that I've actually felt confident to actually wear it. It's been in my drawer for 2 years because it's so cute and I had to have it. And then I just never had the courage to actually wear it, among other things too. Um, I have always wanted to do a boudoir shoot. I know you mentioned this in the post as well. I've always wanted to do one, and my partner and I, again, um, he kind of encouraged me to go through with it, so we did it together. So I never would have been able to do that photo shoot without, I think, actually having this confidence in myself.
I love so much that I love that you use the word courage because it's so important. Being courageous, being brave, betting on
Yeah,
yourself. It's something that your kids look up to. Another thing that you pointed out that we are really big on is loving yourself, um, as you are. And also being accepting of changing, right? Loving
right.
yourself and as well loving yourself so much that you're okay with growing, right? And being outside of your comfort zone a little bit. That doesn't mean that you don't love yourself. You talked a little bit about past experiences trying to lose weight and not maybe able to stick to them. Can you talk a little bit about that and how this was a different experience?
Yeah, so most recently, I think last year, I joined Noom, which worked really well for the time period, but without having like and they do give you a coach, and the program is lovely, but without having someone I think to talk to while you're starting and having someone who's actively and they know you, who's like active in your growth, it's really difficult to stick to. Um, and it's almost like you're making promises to like a wall. Like I it doesn't really fall anywhere. Whereas like with you and Sarah, I can reach out if I need help or encouragement or anything like that. Um, so I tried that. It worked okay, but I gained, as soon as I stopped it, I gained the weight back. I wasn't really teaching myself the long-term benefits of, of healthy eating, of actually being active. And it's a lot of the small things that you guys have said are really involved in the other programs. So that was a big one, but like I don't know, there was no like little tidbits of information you lay out, like the science of weight loss and things like that. And that was really important. Outside of that, I've done Weight Watchers. Back in the day when Curves was a thing, I did that. And then I did, or I would just, be like, I'm just going to start going to the gym. And I would just, but I lack the knowledge of what to do when I get there. So then I don't do anything, or I just walk on the treadmill and it doesn't really like it works for short periods, but it's not sustainable because I don't know what I'm doing. Whereas your program actually lays out exactly like this is how you do these exercises.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I have a couple questions. So what was like
Yeah.
your favorite part of the program? And then you talked a little bit. Well, let's start with that. What was your
Okay.
favorite part of the program?
So actually my favorite part is the in the app how you have every like all the little tips and stuff laid out. So there are recipes. Again, the science, like when you explain it to me, when you explain something to me and I understand it, I'm much more responsive to it. So like laying out exactly what it is was really helpful. And I wasn't sure, I think it was you guys who had said something about how cardio is more for stamina and weight loss long term, like the metabolism comes from strength training, which in my brain makes me be like, oh, well, then I'm gonna go with the strength training. So like the learning part of it, and gaining those like little tidbits of knowledge was probably my favorite part. Um, But then also the fact that it was very flexible. So I could, if I needed to swap an exercise and then I had a lot of issues with my back, like almost immediately because I, hadn't been working out. And then I start working out and my back starts reacting to it. The fact that you guys are really flexible and we could swap things around to make it easier, that's probably my favorite part. Like it's very user friendly.
Yeah, that's super individualized.
Yeah.
Okay, so I really want to talk about shame when it comes to food, food guilt, body shame. Do we ever, because I hear this a lot in like other programs, which are like quick fixes, just eat chicken or lettuce. I don't know. Do we ever like tell you, do we give you a list of foods you couldn't eat or?
No, nope, nope. You can tell by what I track that I would still eat out with my kids. If I go to a restaurant, I still go and I just eat better foods. I drink alcohol like once in a while, but for the most part, like I'm more clear on like what I'm drinking. And I actually look into it more. And so you never restrict it. It's not restrictive. It's just you have to account for it. And it's making that space in there. So I think one time like I bought a box of like the Snickers ice cream bars. Um, but I was able to make the space in my daily calorie um what's the word I'm looking for? Guideline, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Um to account for it so that it was still like in my allowance. And I didn't feel guilty at all for eating it and I still enjoyed it. It's not something I do very often. It's just sometimes when you want ice cream, you want ice cream.
Yeah, and you should have it.
Exactly. Yeah. And I went to McDonald's with my kids a couple of times. We went out for breakfast. So like um just being able to make smarter choices, but still being able to go out and enjoy like time with the kids or my friends or whatever. You not one time have you been like, don't eat that. It's just like, oh, well, maybe choose this instead. But even then, it you were more just account for it. Like keep in mind like what you're doing as you're doing it. So be mindful.
Yeah, because the truth is all of that is part of your life and it's not going
Right.
to not be a part of your life. So we have to navigate all those things. So Megan, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who has been, they saw their friend, they saw you super successful or another friend, or they've been watching us for a couple weeks, a couple months, even a couple years, because I've been, doing this for about 12 years, and they're thinking about this. They really want to do it, but they're really scared, but they haven't pulled the trigger yet. What would you say to them?
Just, you know, what did I said this earlier to someone. It was I just had to make that decision for myself. So like as a mom, you take care of every person that you're responsible for. So, you take care of your kids, you put your kids first, but at some point you fall short. You do individually. So what I would say to somebody is like you have to take that leap of faith for yourself. Um, and you really have to dedicate what you would normally dedicate to your kids or your family or your spouse. And you have to dedicate that drive to taking care of you. Because at the end of the day, um, if I'm not at my best, like I can't bring my best to my kids. I can't, provide for my kids if I'm not providing for myself. You're also worth the investment. I know we're really quick to like put, money and time into like our family, but like you are also worth that investment. So don't rob yourself of an opportunity just because of a short term like fear or a short term worry. In the long run, it'll it'll be a wash. That's mine.
Yeah, we hear that from everyone. We hear a
Yeah.
lot. I wish I had started sooner.
Yeah.
Uh, we hear that a lot. So thank you so much for like just going out here, being vulnerable. It's really good for our confidence,
Yeah.
to share all this. So if you're listening to Megan, you're like, oh my God, I feel like Megan is I'm so much like her. This was a really good time. Sarah and I
Yeah.
like we started this Beachbody challenge, this 12-week challenge, and it is exploding. So we have room for just three more ladies if you want to lose 20 pounds around, right? You lost
Hmm.
17 pounds in
Yep.
12 months and not killing yourself, still going to
Nope.
McDonald's, still
Completely
having,
doable.
yeah. So three home workouts a week and just feeling really good. You can PM us, Megan, results like Megan. That is not committing you to anything. It's just
Right.
having a conversation and we can see if we are a good fit. Megan, thank you so much. Guys,
Thank you.
make leave Megan all the fire emojis, all the hearts. She has done such a good job. She has worked so hard and just really just you should feel so good about
Yeah.
yourself, Megan. You're doing
You know
so
what?
well.
It's funny because you said that I worked so hard. It honestly didn't even feel like hard work at all. Like not at all. It was just another thing.
So many people say that. They're like, you make
Yeah.
it seem harder than it is. I like to under promise and over. You say
Well,
that
you
never
do
done.
every time. You do.
So just to, I want to just be honest. So I hope you have a really, really good day
You
and
too.
we love you. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye, Megan.
Bye.